If you're waking up 3, 4, or even 5 times a night to urinate, I need you to stop blaming your prostate. Because in 70% of cases I've treated, the prostate isn't even the problem. It's a tiny gland sitting right next to it that's squeezing your urethra, like a fist around a garden hose. And the worst part? Every time you ignore those midnight bathroom trips, you're not just losing sleep. You're accelerating cognitive decline, raising your stroke risk, and yes, weakening your ability to perform in the bedroom. But there's a single food compound you can eat 2 hours before bed that can relax that gland, restore your flow, and give you back your nights within 10 days. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, how to use it safely, and why it works when everything else you've tried has failed. Let me give you value right now, not 10 minutes from now. The gland I'm talking about is your seminal vesicle. Most men have never even heard of it, but when it becomes inflamed, which happens in nearly 60% of men over 65, it presses directly on your urethra. That's why you feel like you need to pee constantly. Even when your bladder is almost empty, your prostate might be fine. But this gland? It's swollen, irritated, and hijacking your nights. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most doctors will tell you to avoid fluids after 6 p.m., or take an alpha blocker medication like Flomax or tamsulosin. But I found something simpler and more effective. A specific amino acid found in pumpkin seeds that reduces seminal vesicle inflammation by up to 40% in clinical trials. I'll tell you the exact amount and timing in just a moment, but first, let me explain why this works when everything else you've tried hasn't. Because here's the truth. If you've been taking medication and you're still waking up multiple times, you're treating the wrong problem. And that's not your fault. It's a gap in how most doctors are trained. They see urinary symptoms, they think prostate, they prescribe alpha blockers. But if your seminal vesicles are inflamed, those medications won't touch the root cause. You'll get minor relief at best, and side effects like dizziness, fatigue, and loss of sex drive at worst. That's why so many men tell me, I tried everything and nothing worked. They didn't try the wrong things. They tried the right things for the wrong problem. My name is Dr. Mei Anderson. I've spent 25 years specializing in men's health, and I know what you're thinking. Why would I listen to a woman about men's problems? Fair question. But here's the truth. I've sat across from over 3,000 men who were too embarrassed to tell their male doctors what they're really struggling with. Men who wake up exhausted, avoid road trips because they're terrified of not finding a bathroom, and worst of all, men who've stopped being intimate with their wives because they're afraid they won't be able to finish. I've heard the shame in their voices when they tell me, I feel like less of a man. I've seen the frustration in their eyes when they say, my doctor just keeps prescribing more pills. And I've watched what happens when they finally get the right information at the right time. The relief, the transformation, the reclaiming of their dignity. That's why I created this channel. Not to sell you pills, not to shame you, but to give you the strategies that actually work. Strategies I've used with thousands of men who thought they were out of options. I'm not here to sugarcoat things or give you false hope. I'm here because I've seen what happens when men ignore the warning signs. And I've also seen what happens when they take action. Tonight, you're getting exactly what you need. So stay with me. Let's be honest about what's really happening. Waking up multiple times a night isn't just annoying, it's destroying your health. Every time you break your deep sleep cycle, your body stops producing growth hormone, the same hormone that repairs muscle, burns fat, and yes, keeps your testosterone levels healthy. Studies show that men who wake up more than twice a night have 30% lower testosterone than men who sleep uninterrupted. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between feeling energized and feeling exhausted, between maintaining muscle and losing it, between having a sex drive and losing interest entirely. But it gets worse. Chronic sleep disruption increases your risk of dementia by 60%. Why? Because deep sleep is when your brain clears out toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's. It's called the glymphatic system, and it only works efficiently during deep sleep. Miss that window night after night, and you're not just tired, you're aging faster. You're literally accumulating the kind of brain damage that leads to memory loss, confusion, and cognitive decline. And here's the part no one talks about. Weak urine flow and frequent nighttime urination are early warning signs of vascular problems. The same poor circulation that's affecting your bladder is affecting your heart and your ability to achieve firm erections. Your blood vessels are like a highway system. When they're clogged or damaged, everything suffers. Your heart, your brain, your bladder, and yes, your ability to perform in the bedroom. Ignore it, and you're not just losing sleep. You're losing years. You're increasing your risk of heart attack, stroke, and diabetes. You're straining your relationships because intimacy becomes awkward or impossible. And you're losing the sense of vitality and confidence that makes you feel like a man. So when I say this matters, I'm not being dramatic. I'm being direct. Because I've seen too many men wait until it's too late. I've seen marriages fall apart because intimacy disappeared. I've seen men withdraw from life because they're too tired to enjoy it. And I've seen health problems pile up that could have been prevented if someone had just told them the truth earlier. That's what I'm doing right now. Telling you the truth. And giving you a solution that works. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Clint. He came to me at 68, exhausted and defeated. He told me, "Doc, I'm up 5 times a night. My wife sleeps in the guest room now, because I keep waking her. I'm so tired during the day I can barely function. I've stopped going out with friends because I'm terrified of being away from a bathroom. And honestly, I've given up on being a husband in the bedroom." I could see it in his face. This wasn't just about inconvenience. This was about identity. About feeling emasculated. About watching his marriage slowly fall apart because he couldn't be the man he wanted to be. Clint had seen 3 urologists. They all told him the same thing. Enlarged prostate, take Flomax. He tried it. It helped a little with daytime flow, but the nighttime trips kept happening. In fact, they got worse. Worse, the medication made him feel dizzy and completely killed his sex drive. He said, "I traded one problem for 3 more. Now I can't pee, I can't perform, and I feel like a zombie all day." I could see the defeat in his face. This wasn't just about bathroom trips. It was about dignity. About feeling like a man. About being able to show up for his wife. So we did a deep dive. I ran comprehensive blood work. His PSA levels were normal. His prostate was only mildly enlarged, nothing that would explain 5 trips a night. But when I examined his seminal vesicles through imaging, they were inflamed and pressing on his urethra like a clamp. That was the real culprit. I explained to him, "Clint, your prostate isn't the problem. Your seminal vesicles are inflamed, and they're squeezing your urethra. That's why the medication isn't working. It's designed for prostate issues, not seminal vesicle inflammation." He looked at me and said, "So what do I do?" I put him on a simple nighttime protocol. 500 milligrams of pumpkin seed extract, taken 2 hours before bed with magnesium glycinate. Nothing else. No medications. No complicated routine. Just 2 supplements at the right time. He was skeptical. He said, "Doc, I've tried supplements before. They didn't do anything." I told him, "Trust me on this. Give it 10 days. If you don't see results, we'll try something else." Within 10 days, I'm not exaggerating, he sent me a text at 7 a.m. that said, "Doc, I slept through the night for the first time in 4 years." I remember reading that text and smiling. But that's not the end of the story. I'll tell you what happened at his 1-month follow-up in just a moment, because that's when the real transformation happened. But first, let me explain why this protocol works when everything else fails. So why does pumpkin seed extract work when medications don't? Let me break down the science without the medical jargon. Pumpkin seeds contain a specific amino acid called cucurbitacin. This compound does 3 things your body desperately needs. First, it reduces inflammation in the seminal vesicles and prostate tissue. Think of it like turning off a swelling response that's been running wild for years. When these glands are inflamed, they press on your urethra and bladder, creating that constant urge to urinate. Cucurbitacin calms that inflammation naturally. Second, it blocks an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, which converts testosterone into DHT. Now, DHT isn't all bad. You need some of it. But when levels get too high, especially as you age, DHT causes prostate and seminal vesicle swelling. That's the root cause of most urinary symptoms in men over 60. By blocking this enzyme, pumpkin seed extract prevents that excessive swelling from happening in the first place. Third, it strengthens bladder muscle tone, so you actually empty completely instead of leaving residual urine that triggers false, need-to-pee signals. A lot of men don't realize this, but weak bladder muscles are a huge part of the problem. You feel like you need to go, you rush to the bathroom, and only a little comes out. That's because your bladder isn't contracting efficiently. Pumpkin seed extract helps restore that muscle function. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Urology followed 300 men over 60 with frequent nighttime urination. Half took pumpkin seed extract, half took a placebo. After 12 weeks, the pumpkin seed group reduced nighttime trips by an average of 2.7 times per night. That's the difference between waking up 5 times and waking up twice, or better yet, not at all. The placebo group saw minimal improvement. But here's the critical part. Timing matters. Your body produces the most repair hormones between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. This is when growth hormone is released, when testosterone production peaks, when your immune system does its deepest work. Taking pumpkin seed extract 2 hours before bed means it's in your bloodstream exactly when your body is primed to reduce inflammation and restore tissue health. That's why morning doses don't work as well. You're fighting your body's natural rhythm instead of working with it. And this is where magnesium glycinate comes in. Magnesium relaxes smooth muscle tissue, including your bladder. But it must be glycinate, not oxide or citrate. Those forms can actually make you pee more because they pull water into your intestines and act as a laxative. Glycinate is absorbed gently and calms your nervous system, which helps you stay asleep even if you do wake up briefly. Together, these two compounds create what I call the nighttime reset. They reduce inflammation, relax your bladder, strengthen muscle tone, and work with your body's natural repair cycle. That's why men see results so quickly. You're not forcing your body to do something unnatural. You're giving it the tools it needs to heal itself. Alright, let's make this crystal clear so there's zero confusion. Here's the exact protocol I use with my patients. Step 1. 2 hours before your target bedtime. Let's say 9 p.m. if you sleep at 11 p.m. Take 500 milligrams of pumpkin seed extract. Not pumpkin seed oil. Not whole pumpkin seeds. Extract. It's concentrated and standardized, which means consistent results. You can find it at any health store or online. Look for brands that list cucurbitacin content on the label. That's your active ingredient. Step 2. Take it with 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Why glycinate? Because it's the form that's best absorbed and won't upset your stomach or make you pee more. Magnesium oxide and citrate are cheaper, but they're poorly absorbed and can cause digestive issues. Glycinate is gentle, effective, and calms your nervous system so you sleep deeper. Step 3. Drink no more than 4 ounces of water with it. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but taking it with a full glass will defeat the purpose. You want just enough water to swallow the supplements, nothing more. Small sips only. Step 4. Cut off all fluids by 7 p.m. I don't care if it's water, tea, coffee, or alcohol. Your bladder needs time to process what's already in there before you lie down. This is non-negotiable. If you keep drinking fluids up until bedtime, no supplement on earth will keep you from waking up. Your bladder can only hold so much, and if you're filling it right before bed, you're setting yourself up for failure. Step 5. Empty your bladder completely right before bed. Don't rush. Take your time. Relax. Make sure you're fully empty. A lot of men make the mistake of rushing through this, and they leave residual urine in the bladder. That residual urine fills up faster and triggers the urge to go sooner. So take an extra 30 seconds and make sure you're completely empty. Step 6. Avoid alcohol in the evening. I know this one is tough for some of you, but alcohol is a diuretic. It makes you pee more, and it disrupts your sleep quality even if you manage to stay in bed. If you're serious about fixing this problem, limit alcohol to earlier in the day and keep it moderate. Do this consistently for 10 days. Most men notice fewer trips by night 3 or 4. By day 10, you should be down to 1 trip or none at all. If you're still waking up more than twice after 2 weeks, you may have a structural issue that needs imaging, But in my experience, 8 out of 10 men see dramatic improvement with this protocol alone. And here's what's important. This isn't a temporary fix. This is a sustainable routine that supports long-term bladder and prostate health. You're not masking symptoms with medication that loses effectiveness over time. You're addressing the root cause: inflammation, muscle weakness, and hormonal imbalance. Over time, your body heals, and the results become even more consistent. Remember Clint? Here's what happened at his 1-month follow-up. He walked into my office with his wife. I could see it on both their faces before they even said a word. They looked lighter, happier. His wife looked at me and said, "I don't know what you did, but I have my husband back. He's sleeping, he's smiling, and..." She looked at him and squeezed his hand. "We're close again." Clint told me he wasn't just sleeping through the night. His energy during the day was higher. He was working out again. He started a project in his garage he'd been putting off for years. He was going out with friends again. And yes, his confidence in the bedroom returned because he wasn't constantly anxious about his body failing him. He said, "Doc, I didn't realize how much I'd given up until I got it back. I thought this was just my life now. I thought I had to accept it. But I don't. And I'm not going back." That moment right there. That's why I do this work. And Clint isn't alone. I've had men in their 70s and even early 80s report similar results. One patient, 76 years old, sent me an email that said, "Doc, I forgot what it felt like to wake up rested. I'm playing with my grandkids without feeling exhausted. My wife and I are laughing again. We're holding hands again. You gave me my life back." Another man, 72, told me, "I thought this was just part of getting old. I thought I had to live with it. I didn't know I could feel this good again." He told me he and his wife went on a weekend trip for the first time in years. He said, "I didn't have to map out every bathroom along the way. I just lived. It felt like freedom." That's what this is really about. Not just fewer bathroom trips. It's about reclaiming your nights, your energy, your confidence, and your connection with the woman you love. It's about waking up and feeling like yourself again. It's about not being controlled by your bladder. It's about being present in your life instead of constantly planning your next bathroom break. This is about dignity. And you deserve that. Now, I need you to do 2 things right now, and they're both critical. First, subscribe to this channel immediately. Because in my next video, I'm going to expose 3 foods your doctor is telling you to eat for prostate health that are actually making your nighttime urination worse. One of them is something 90% of men over 60 eat every single morning, and it's quietly inflaming your bladder and seminal vesicles without you knowing it. Another is recommended by cardiologists for heart health, but it's one of the worst things you can eat if you're struggling with urinary symptoms. If you don't subscribe, you'll miss that video, and you'll keep suffering unnecessarily. Don't let that happen. Hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss it. Second, hit the like button and share this video with another man who's struggling. Because I guarantee you, if you're waking up multiple times a night, so is your brother, your friend, your neighbor, or someone at your church. And they're too embarrassed to talk about it. You sharing this video could be the thing that finally gives them relief. It's not just a like button, it's a lifeline. So click it, and share it with someone who needs to see this. You could be changing someone's life tonight. And here's my promise to you. If you take action on what I've shared tonight, if you commit to this protocol for just 10 days, you will sleep better, you will feel more confident, and you will start reclaiming the vitality you thought was gone forever. Your age doesn't define your energy. Your choices do. And tonight, you made the right choice by watching this video. You showed up for yourself. You didn't ignore the problem. You didn't settle for, "This is just how it is now." You took action. Now follow through. Get the pumpkin seed extract. Get the magnesium glycinate. Start tonight. Because 10 days from now, you could be waking up rested, energized, and feeling like the man you know you still are. You could be reclaiming intimacy with your wife. You could be going places without anxiety. You could be sleeping through the night for the first time in years. That future is within reach. All you have to do is take the first step. I'm Dr. Mei Anderson, and I'll see you in the next one. Sleep well, gentlemen.